Welcome back to LAWSTACHE channel. My name is Anton Vialtsin. I'm an attorney in the Southern District of California here in San Diego. Today we're going to discuss a case dealing with the Fourth Amendment, and specifically where police officers arrest an individual without an arrest warrant. I have plenty of videos discussing arrests on public street. And of course we know that officers generally don't need to have a warrant in order to arrest somebody on public street. I also have plenty of videos discussing arrests in somebody's house. There, officers do need to have a warrant in order to enter the home and make the arrest. Now, what about the situation like we have in this case, where the officers approach a house and the individual is standing inside his attached garage, but the garage door is open, so he's clearly visible to the police. Officers get him, arrest him, and that seems like the case is done. But not so fast. We're now before an appellate court discussing this situation to see whether the officers needed to have a warrant in order to enter that garage and get him out and arrested. Before we go on, I want to thank you for watching me on YouTube, hitting that subscribe button, most importantly sharing my channel with your friends and family as it helps me grow it. If you're listening to the podcast version of this recording on Audible or Spotify, please give my podcast a 5-star review rating. And finally, if you want to support this channel, consider going to LAWSTACHE.com and checking out some of the merch, including my Do Not Arrest This Person t-shirts. I'm not wearing one right now today, but I usually do, and it gets a lot of compliments. People absolutely love the shirts. Thanks for watching.
Quick message from LAWSTACHE. Are you charged with a crime? Or do you want to know your rights if stopped by police? Watch California attorney Anton Vialtsin discuss legal cases from the Supreme Court, Ninth Circuit, and California state courts on the LAWSTACHE YouTube page. Anton has handled hundreds of federal and state criminal cases, has an in-depth knowledge of the law, and has the best mustache ever. Subscribe to the LAWSTACHE YouTube page. That's LAWSTACHE.
Today we're discussing a Ninth Circuit case, United States versus Patrick, Oaxaca, which is a case that deals with the Fourth Amendment and arrest warrants, or lack thereof. The facts of the case are not super important, but let me set the scene. For a number of months, police officers are conducting an investigation into a conspiracy to distribute narcotics, namely methamphetamine. They make a number of controlled purchases, and they think they have a good idea of who the individuals are involved in this conspiracy. They make an arrest of an individual through the controlled purchase, and that individual points a finger at Oaxaca, saying that that's the person who's actually distributing the narcotics. He's the source, the supplier of methamphetamine. Now that day, officers ask the individual they just arrested to make a phone call and get Oaxaca to sell more narcotics to him, which is exactly what he does. And then Oaxaca sends a person that works for him to deliver the narcotics. Of course, the agents then arrest that person, and now they have probable cause to arrest Oaxaca. Because of course, we have the person delivering, we have all the phone calls pointing the finger at Oaxaca being truly the supplier here. Now, at this point, officers did not have an arrest warrant, but they show up at Oaxaca's residence anyways, and then they see Oaxaca standing in his garage in plain sight with the garage door being open. So the officers go straight into the garage, they put him on his knees, handcuff him, and arrest him for distributing narcotics. They then hope to find somebody at the residence, perhaps a relative or somebody else who lives there, to get a consent to search the whole house. They find Nancy, who's Oaxaca's sister, to be at the residence. Now she, of course, at this point saw her brother being arrested and she's freaking out. And in fact, later on she testified that, I thought it was a raid. I was freaking out. I didn't know what was going on. The officers then told her to sign a form to consent to the search of the house. She was pressured to sign the form after being told that if she didn't sign the form, they would have to secure the residence while they applied for the search warrant. And of course, she would have to wait for them to complete all of their tasks. So she signs the form, and officers then search the whole house and they find some incriminating evidence. Oaxaca is then charged with conspiracy to distribute methamphetamine under 21 U.S.C. 841. He doesn't protest and doesn't argue that there was probable cause to make an arrest, but he says that the Fourth Amendment protects him against unreasonable searches and seizures, and that officers needed to have a warrant in order to enter his garage to make that arrest. The court agrees and says that nowhere is the protective force of the Fourth Amendment more powerful than it is when the sanctity of the home is involved. The sanctity of the person's home, perhaps our last real retreat in this technological age, lies at the very core of the rights which animate the amendment. Therefore, we have been adamant that in our demand that absent exigent circumstances, a warrant will be required before a person's home is invaded by the authorities. The government asserts that the agents were not required to obtain an arrest warrant because Oaxaca's attached garage was not part of his home. But the court disagrees and says we can conceive no reason to distinguish a garage where people spend time, work, and store their possessions from a den or a kitchen where people spend time, work, and store their possessions. Simply put, a person's garage is as much a part of his castle as the rest of his home. The government then argues that the agents did not need to have an arrest warrant because Oaxaca left his garage door open, exposing himself to the people outside. But that's complete nonsense. The Fourth Amendment doesn't only protect you if you keep your doors and windows shut.
Both neighbors just bought garage door openers. Ralph bought old-fashioned chain drive, but Herb got Genie Track Drive, the chainless opener. Herb's lucky. Track Drive really is the easiest to install and never needs grease or adjusting. Buy Track Drive and get a little help from me, or buy Chain Drive and go it alone. Track Drive, the easiest to install. Only Genie has it.
Genie Track Drive, available at Montgomery Ward.
The Supreme Court has previously told us that officers will violate the Fourth Amendment if they go across the threshold of the house, regardless whether that door is open or closed. Once they cross the threshold without a warrant, the Fourth Amendment is violated. And here, the court says that the officers did in fact violate the Fourth Amendment when they entered the garage of Oaxaca's home without a warrant. Now, let's move on to the issue of consent, because after all, the suppression motion is trying to suppress evidence found inside the house. Now, the court says that, of course, consent can be tainted if the evidence suggests that it came from some illegal act by the government. There can be no doubt that Nancy's consent to a search was the fruit of the government's warrantless entry and arrest. She gave her consent mere moments after running into the garage, where she saw several armed DEA agents and her brother on his knees already under arrest. As she put it during the suppression hearing, she was freaking out because she thought that it was a raid. Moreover, whereas here, the police confront a person with contraband that they have illegally found, the subsequent consent to search is fruit of the government action. Because the consent in this case flowed from the government's illegal action, it is invalid. So let me give you some takeaways from this case. The first takeaway is that your garage gets the same protection as the entire house, and officers need to have an arrest warrant if they want to go across that threshold and enter the garage in order to make an arrest. And takeaway number 2 is that consent by the defendant or third parties can in fact be tainted by the government's illegal actions. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please, please, please subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends and family. It helps me grow my channel. And if you're listening to the podcast version of this recording on Audible or Spotify, please give my podcast a 5-star rating. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you want to support my channel and look absolutely badass in a Do Not Arrest This Person t-shirt, go to LAWSTACHE.com and buy one. Thanks for watching.